Also, in keeping with the growing spirit of lawlessness, I've seen an escalating exposure of corruption in government at a shocking level. No longer does it seem that we're governed or restrained by God-breathed morals, principles, and real values, and so the restraints of the past are no longer there. The restraints that govern behavior just aren't there. And so over the next 2 years, not only will we see turmoil in a broken government, but we're going to see escalating exposure of corruption at levels we've not seen before. If you were to take all the elements of corruption that we've already seen and put them together in one place, it would rock us to our core. And it should have done that by now, but corruption has been coming out in such bite-sized pieces so far that we've become conditioned to it. It doesn't impact us, and it should. And because of that, for instance, the level of outrage that forced Richard Nixon from office for a single incidence of compromise and breaking of the law that has not developed, even in the face of multiple scandals. Any one of the scandals that has surfaced in our government would have brought government down 30 years ago. And there's been a string of them, and more are going to surface. We're going to see a continuing erosion. By the way, I'm giving you all the bad news first. Good news coming. Okay? We're going to see a continuing erosion of our liberties. And there's a reason for that. Real democracy, and the Founding Fathers knew this, real democracy can only exist where there's a strong sense of godly morality handed down from a recognition of Almighty God. Amen. You take that out of the picture, democracy's done. It can only work with a righteous people. See, a strong sense of morality and faith in a holy God restrains greed, forms a barrier against compromises of integrity, and even against discrimination and prejudice. Morality and faith have been so eroded in our culture that government has already stepped in to impose controls and increase regulations in order to prevent harm. I just read this last week. There are 3,500 more regulatory executive actions coming down from the White House this year. Where morality is eroded, freedoms are taken away, no matter who's in office. And I'm convinced that no matter who's in office, this trend of the erosion of freedom will continue, because when morality doesn't restrain behavior, law must.